morning, friends. Welcome back to our channel. Today I've got a bunch of cleaning that I need to do. Are you saying hi? So if you've been following our channel, you know we just got back from a trip like last week. Anyways, today I need to make a couple BAM cakes. I've been enjoying those for breakfast and stuff like that, so let's make some of those. Get the house cleaned up. I'll show you guys what it looks like. It looks really bad. Do general I can't talk. The general cleaning, vacuuming, that kind of stuff. I also have to go get a Walmart pickup haul. I was thinking this morning, you gotta really be strategic in what you do because there's only certain amounts of energy. Like, I have energy limits these days. I'm 21 weeks pregnant and I can only do so much. One thing I've been wanting to get back into is exercising. So because of that, I thought, well, rather than go to Walmart, get all our stuff, let's just do pickup order, make it simple in that way, and put my energy towards exercising. So that's what we're gonna do today. So first I'm gonna put the little girl down and then we'll get working on the house. Well, I have the energy and the gumption to do it. Are you so excited? For those of you guys that are new to our channel, I'm just I would say a young mom of 2 little kids, live with my husband and kids in the desert. And my goal is just to show you what life looks like for me from a day-to-day basis. I'm not always doing major clean and cooking days, but at least once a week you could find this going on at our house. And here's what things look like very realistically in the moment. You know, we've got stuff from all kinds of things going on. Just, you can see what it looked like when I needed to get things cleaned up. I'm trying to be real straightforward here and show you what things really look like as much as reasonably possible. Busy weekend or not, there were things that needed to be cleaned up. It's always interesting trying to do house cleaning because you got to think about where the kids will be at what time and if you can do different areas. It was just about nap time for my littlest one, so I was trying to get this room cleaned up real fast right off the bat, and then that way she could get in her morning nap and I could move on to other areas of the house. So it's always just juggling things and trying to figure out what's gonna work. There are times where I'll start a project and then have to wait or take care of it later because the kids need attention or something's going on to where maybe I'm just at my wit's end and I can't do it with the current situation. I don't know. Lately I've been discovering just how to work through attitudes, whether it's my own or the kids' attitudes, and just trying to remember to be patient with them. That it's not like they're intentionally trying to be naughty necessarily. So no, sometimes they are, but for the most part, when maybe they're frustrated or something, there's often something else going on, and so it's easy to look at them and be like, you guys are getting in the way, whatever I'm wanting to do. But in reality, it's often more that I just need to pull back and give them some focus time, work with them, and not just ignore them and to get my projects done, if that makes sense. It's always a balance there, because sometimes you can get them set up playing with toys or just get them going on an activity and then I can do some things, or other times I just need to put my jobs and projects aside and do those later when the kids are all occupied. So anyways, I started out in the bedroom so that way I could, like I said, put my little girl to bed and then could get going on the rest of the house. It's kind of amazing. You can think you're one type of a person, and then when you have kids, things can totally just change and flip on their head. I thought I was a pretty nice mom until my oldest turned about 2 and we started working on potty training, and then I was like, oh my goodness, I can see why people wait, because in some ways I feel like it's not so much the child that you're training, but yourself. Like the discipline to make the time to take the child to the potty and to work with them on that, that's hard. I mean, maybe some people find it easy. I did not. And then there was just the period where my son, he just, didn't want to go, but I knew he had to go, so he would be really grumpy. And just watching my own attitude, I discovered some pretty not nice things about myself during that time. And there's still moments where it comes up where I'm like, what kind of a person am I? I thought I was really nice. And then I feel like my kids are being difficult. And then I'm like, I have to remind myself, nope, this is not my kids like intentionally trying to make my day hard. Gotta remember, it's not flesh and blood we wrestle against, you know? There's other things going on, and sometimes it's as little as something as getting them some food, and then they'll be happy for a while, and just things will be much smoother. And other times it's like, oh, no, they should take a nap. That will help. Or other times where you just gotta get to the other times that you just have to get to the root of things and take care of them. But I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling like I'm discovering stuff all the time. And I recently was reminded by somebody, I don't remember if it was a podcast or where it came from, but they said, instead of lashing out at your kids when you're frustrated at them, just hold it in. And then when you meet with God, when you spend time with him, just give it to him, pour it out to him. And that's actually come to mind a couple times when my oldest is, say, frustrated about something and he's having a hard time communicating. He can't exactly talk super well. He can say some words, but when he's trying to, you can tell something is really upsetting him, and I can't figure out what it is. And then I want to get frustrated because I'm like, why are you frustrated? But we can't figure it out. It's like, no, just take a deep breath, stop, let's refocus and see if we can figure it out together, and to not allow his frustration to become my frustration and just turn it into a bigger issue. But these are just some of the things that I'm trying to work through these days, realistically. Just trying to be realistic here. And I feel like no matter what, if you have kids or not, there's some of these things that you're probably facing too, whether it's at siblings or work or stuff like that, I imagine, to some extent. You know, living with people is a challenge at times, but I guess it's part of the refining process, isn't it? Well, it's time to go pick up the Walmart orders, so let's go do that. First, I'm gonna make a milkshake though, because I'm starving, so hungry. I'm gonna make a Frisky, which is a kind of a chocolate, peanut butter, banana type thing. The banana's the carb source, the carb fuel in it. Anyways, let's make that, and then let's get the little girl up, and then we'll head to Walmart. If you've watched any of my videos, you know how much I use the recipes from Trim Healthy Mama for a lot of my eating and stuff. Especially being pregnant, I try to really double down and try to make sure that I'm getting good carbs and fats, just for good nourishment for the baby and for myself. And my goal, it really helps in some ways to have a goal for me. So I'm always thinking, when I get to the end of pregnancy, am I going to regret eating healthy right now, eating good stuff? It's like, nope, I highly doubt it. Besides, I feel like it makes a big difference for weight gain and stuff like that for me. So because of that, then I try to be really intentional about avoiding sugar and processed carbs and stuff like that. One thing I was really struggling with was feeling full after meals. Typically, if I eat a good-sized meal, like you should be able to, that food should last you for like 2 hours to 3 hours, but often I find it's not until I started adding more protein to my meals, and then I found I was able to go longer, which as I get further along in the pregnancy, I know I can't do that as much because often, you don't have as much room. Enough on that. Let's, get to the groceries. Actually, first of all, let's start with Albertsons. They had some strawberries on sale, and so I thought, instead of buying a coffee or something like that, I almost did. I grabbed a box of strawberries for something special. Don't ask me what I was saying there. I think the kids are making noises or something, so I just decided, let's redo the audio. But they had some canned vegetables that were on sale. I think it was 89 cents for a can. And then these yogurts were $1 each. Normally this yogurt is over $1, like $1.30 or something. So I was like, hey, that's pretty good. Let's get that. So I have them for days where I want to grab extra protein when I'm going out the door or something like that. Those are pretty good. I liked them. Especially the hibiscus mango flavor. That one's really, really delicious. Anyways, on to Walmart. I got some cheese for snacks, some apples, mangoes, tomatoes, spinach, some reduced salt soy sauce, a cucumber and bananas. This was a pickup order, so I couldn't choose what I got. But anyhow, got some olives for my husband, some decaf coffee. I was out of the ground stuff, so I wanted to make sure I have that on hand because I really like doing coffee for snacks and stuff. And then grabbed some butter. I'm going to be making a lasagna, so I grabbed some cottage cheese for that. Figured it fairly clean ingredients, no maltodextrin, so that was good. You got to watch out for that. And then some pizza sauce, also for the lasagna, and some more cheese. Then some spinach. My husband likes that. I was out of mustard, so I grabbed some extras of those. Some sweetener, the Pure brand. I like that for doing desserts where I need that to be crunchier. Like if I'm doing like caramel, if I want like a caramel candy or something like that, I use that for that. Then I grabbed a bunch of 0% milk. I use this for my kefir and for making yogurt. And then some peanuts. You really have to watch it because last time I got peanuts like this, there was sugar in it, and I was really annoyed at that. So I made sure to check and get the dry peanuts instead of the salted ones. So that's just something to be aware of if you're concerned about that. Then milk for my little girl. Some almond milk for me. I'm not making almond milk right now just to simplify things and stuff. And then I grabbed some blueberries. Some shampoo for my husband. We were out of citric acid, and then some ice cream for my husband. So that's what was in our grocery haul. I'll put the total here because I cannot exactly remember how much. I think Albertsons was $13, maybe $14 max, and then the Walmart order was like $130 or something like that. So anyways, and then they also sent me like in the mail some vitamin C emergency for my husband, and then some more sweetener. So that's what the order was. Anyhow, I'll put the total for everything up on the screen so you can see what we paid. This is about a week's worth of groceries for us. Like some stuff like the mozzarella, I'll freeze that in like Ziploc bags because we won't use all of that in a week, obviously. But let me put everything away, and then I've got to get off to get the kids lunch. I thought I would do a fun little time lapse of putting all the groceries away. There wasn't a lot of groceries, but it kind of felt like a lot when I went to put it away. Well, the kids have been fed, and I was gonna make those bam cakes and pancake in a pan, whatever. I was gonna make those, but I need to stop and eat something, so I thought I'd show you what I'm having for lunch today. One of my goals this week is to have more veggies, so I cut up a tomato, a pickle. I got a meat and cheese sourdough sandwich. I love those. And then if I'm still hungry, I've got this for more protein, and then some popcorn and chips, but I'm gonna have this first and then see how I feel. I know it's not a ton of veggies. I already had some okra in my shake this morning earlier, so anyways, that's what I'm having for lunch. This giant blueberry pancake recipe has come in so handy. When we went on our trip across the US a couple weeks ago, it was the best thing to have on hand. I had packed them. I made this and then packed them in individual servings, and almost every morning for the first, I want to say, week, we had it for breakfast. So it was very, very simple no matter where you were staying. Just as long as I just made sure to, bring them food into whatever we were staying in, whether it was a hotel or an Airbnb, bring it in, put it in the fridge. And then as the days went on, worked our way through them. And it was so, so nice to have on hand. It's probably one of those things that would be really handy if you have morning sickness, if you're in that stage of life where it's really easy to make one pan of this and then you just slowly work your way through it every morning. I had actually run out of egg whites, so I pulled out a jug from the freezer and had to try to get it to defrost real fast. But it's really simple the way you can just blend everything up in the blender. That's like one of my favorite reasons why I like to make this, apart from the fact that it's an easy way to get some protein in the morning. But I just blended everything up, and then I let it sit on the stove for a bit just so it could activate. It seems like when you're using non-traditional flour and stuff, it helps to let it soak. Anyways, on to the apple caramel bam cake. This one is one of those, it's a very unassuming recipe, and then once you make it, you're like, oh, this is pretty nice. It's not heavy or anything, but at the same time, it leaves you feeling filled, which is something that's important to me these days. With growing a little human, I feel like I'm just constantly needing nourishment and food and stuff like that. And then rather than bore you with the whole rest of the recipe, I thought I'll just go ahead and forward it to the end. I was making a double batch here, which is why the blender was so full. And it was a nice way to use up these apples because I wanted to get them taken care of before they went bad. Sometimes I'll buy fruit and then not get around to eating it just because there's other things that sound more appetizing, which is kind of bad, I know. But I was happy to get them used up. We've worked our way through at least one pan already by this point. It's especially fun now that my kids are getting older that they want to eat the snacks I'm eating. I mean, most of the time it's fun, sometimes it's not fun, and you're like, guys, I was gonna have that snack. But anyways, I feel like they're always, it just helps to have the kids, because then we go through food fast, we go through these things faster, and then nothing goes to waste because stuff doesn't get like old or stale from being around too long. So as homemakers, what motivates you to do some of these mundane tasks? Like, I know if anybody else is like me, I don't always feel like doing everything all the time. You know, you're not like, yay, we can empty the dishwasher. But I know for me, what really helps is knowing that when I need to fill it up, then it's going to be empty. So sometimes it's just like telling myself, oh, let's get this done. So then later I don't have to worry about it. I can just put the dirty dishes in. Anyways, I was just like, I wonder what everybody else, if they think thoughts like that, or if I'm like the only one. After that was done, then I did some exercising. I know this may seem dorky or kind of funny, but I haven't done a bunch of exercising in a while, and I really wanted to get back into it just so I can strengthen my body as much as possible. This looks like a really simple exercise, but actually it really gets your heart rate up, which was perfect. It was like something I really wanted. So it's a Leslie Sansom, I think is how you say her name, workout on YouTube where it's just walking with different movements, but it literally gets your heart going so much. It's kind of crazy. It was really good for me to get a bit of exercise in. I'm not able to exercise maybe like every day of the week, but if I get a couple days in, I call that good. And I'm actually part of a Facebook group where we're just encouraging a bunch of ladies, encouraging each other with exercising and stuff like that. The goal isn't necessarily to like lose weight or be skinny, but more just to be strong. That's the purpose, at least that's my goal. I want to be able to strengthen my muscles as much as possible. So anyways, all within moderation. As some of you know, I've been dealing with some braxton hicks again, but it seems like as long as I do like leg exercises or stuff like that, it's not too bad. That doesn't seem to really affect it, but I still gotta watch it and be careful. Speaking of braxton hicks, if any of you guys have suggestions, remedies, let me know. I've heard a lot, like drink lots of water, just stay hydrated. Not just water, but electrolytes, use magnesium cream, take Epsom salt baths, stuff like that. So anyways, being 21 weeks, I'm like, this feels really early to be having the braxton hicks, so I'm trying to just be aware of how much I'm doing, but at the same time, it's like life goes on, and I've heard once you get them, they don't really go away, which is kind of annoying, like for future pregnancies, but we're just taking things one baby at a time and hope that maybe next time the babies will be spread apart a little more, I don't know, and then maybe that'll help my system not be as quick to start braxton hicks, but we'll see. For my snack, I made up a quick little decaf iced coffee thing. I used some instant coffee, which some people would say is crazy. But I used that, added some almond milk, some ice, collagen for protein, and stevia. Mixed that up and then added some half and half. And it made for a really, really tasty snack along with a piece of that apple bam cake. So that's what my day looked like today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It's kind of fun feeling like you can connect with other homemakers on the internet, homemakers from all over, whether you're from an area where there's homemakers or you're just doing this on your own, or it's, you with your siblings and your family or with kids, whatever. It's just neat to get on here, and I hope that in some way there was some encouragement or something that you found helpful. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week with another video. Thanks for hanging around. Bye.